Travis and I and John and I, we always, like, when somebody, like, mishaps or something like that, we're like, you freaking idiot. But then we're like, oh, you okay?
Oh, God, that could have actually been bad. Yeah. Maybe I should check on this person after the initial response of, what a fool.
Yeah, what an idiot.
On him. Yeah.
But, like, that was my initial response. We're like, you freaking idiot. And I'm like, oh, shit, are you okay?
Like he said, though, he was a bit ahead of me, so he didn't see the full extent of what happened. And then when I explained to him, nah, I almost just died there, man. He was like, oh, God.
So I think, didn't you tumble and then, like, your back hit the tree and it, like, propped you? And you were like, oh.
Yeah. Like I said, it was on a rock that was a nice-sized boulder, probably the size of this table, probably 6 feet across. And a tree wedged me kind of in between that and the steep rock face.
Yeah, if you come down from that area, it is absolutely any area from North Dome is one of the steepest areas in the Catskills, but it's an awesome descent.
Yeah. So we did the rest of the way. You got down.
Wherever you go in the Catskills, you could look down and imagine glaciers below you.
I think the weather challenges on this incident were particularly difficult.
Whereas Panson Mountain is totally opposite. It's a mountain on top of a crater.
It was really the development of New York State. Catskills were responsible.
Yeah!
Welcome to Inside the Line, the Catskills. So, Travis, did you hear about the buffalo goring incident in Yellowstone and in Grand Tetons and in Wyoming?
No, I did not hear about that. I don't keep up on the buffalo news. Sorry.
3 people each got gored. Why all those places got gored by a buffalo because they got too close. They were being.
I was gonna say, were they asking for trouble? Like,
yeah. Let me get this.
A wild animal.
Let me get this picture.
In its area, you may get gored.
Yep.
You may get gored.
It's weird. I've seen so many times of this, of people getting gored by buffaloes. I don't know why it's buffaloes. Like out here, it's like bears are like stay away from them, but out there, it's like buffaloes. Let's go touch them.
We used to go to Canada. There was like a place you could go watch. You could go check out buffalo.
Or maybe a bison.
In Prince Edward Island, and it was like a bunch of buffalo or bison, and it was just a fenced-in area. You could go stand on like a deck and see them. If you were lucky, they'd come close enough where you could see them. But like those people, so all 3 of them died, or
no, they just got tossed up in the air, and I was laughing. I'm just like,
you got to see video of that at least in your newsfeed, hopefully.
I definitely am getting those good videos, and then there was one that I saw where a guy was just like, he came up and the thing, did that little like stomp, and then and he was just like, he just looked around, and he goes like that, and the thing charged him and hit him. I was like, yes. I'm like, good job.
A little karma.
Yeah. So, Travis, you are my first in-person interview. This is really odd.
I remember my first time.
It's really weird making eye contact.
It is weird.
Face to
I'll probably
face.
stare at the table just not to make you nervous.
But cheers. Thank you very much.
Well,
Appreciate it.
Captain Morgan. Coca-Cola Zeros.
Definitely. We'll talk about that in a sec. So, thank you, monthly subscribers, Darren White, Vicky Ferreira, John Comiskey, Jim C., Michael Bogner, Alec Betancourt, and Sarah Bacon. Hopefully, Travis will throw in his salary once in a while to contribute to the show.
All right, the guilt trip. I like it.
So, Travis, what are you drinking for both of us?
Captain Morgan original recipe, original spiced rum here, and Coke Zero. Trying to watch those calories.
I know. You need to get back out on the trail. You're looking fat.
Yeah, slim down. Yeah, no, I know. I'm over 200, so it's always
Really?
Yes, sir.
You don't.
Well, I keep an extra spare tire in the front. So.
Oh man, you are lying.
Yeah.
Have you been on any previous hikes, buddy?
I've been on lots of previous hikes. Nothing recent. No, is that what you mean? Recent? No.
Yeah.
Nothing
recent
recent?
hikes. Nothing.
No.
I went up.
Nothing good recently.
I went up our favorite trail. Well, my favorite trail. Thomas Cole.
All right. That is your trail maintenance, right?
Unfortunately.
Is that actually your favorite trail, or just
yes, dude.
you feel the most personal about?
You got to admit, it offers everything.
Yeah, when we did that one, it was the back way, Thomas Cole only. We did just Thomas Cole, and it was the fall, I think.
Yeah.
So you could see some nice gaps through the trees, and then also the couple of overlooks. You could see like everything was just turning.
It was warm. There's a yellow jackets nest, and I got stung. And I did trail maintenance and other things. But I was doing trail maintenance, and I have a saw, and the other thing I was using was broke. And I was chopping the saw, and I chopped my leg.
Yeah.
Did I show you it?
Yeah, you did show me the battle scars.
Yes.
I have a similar one. We had some of the crazy storms recently. The trees in the back had some nice blowdown. Knocked the fence down that keeps the dogs at bay. And I was wrestling it myself in like 90-degree humidity weather. And same thing, like just tore up my legs and my arms just wrestling the tree over the fence. Trying to drag it out back, so
pain in the ass.
Really pain though. Like those scratches all over are nice when you get in the shower.
So who's the new one? I forgot.
So this is Pete.
Pete, hey.
Peter.
Beautiful.
Many other nicknames.
What kind of dog?
He is a silky terrier and a poodle mix.
Beautiful.
My wife has allergy, so all of our dogs mix with poodles.
Sweet.
And then that's Jack over there sitting watching you from a distance.
Always. Jack. And unfortunately, Emmett passed away.
Emmett did pass away, yeah. And
Sorry.
Emmett was the last of the Yorkie poodle mix. He was a family treasure.
He was awesome.
Yep.
Sorry to hear about that, though.
Thank you.
Sorry to bring that up, but like I said,
that's fine.
in-person interview, this is pretty wicked. I like this.
Yeah.
I also went up Mount Marcy in Phelps in the Adirondacks for my birthday.
Yeah, I saw that you did. And did you do a third peak as well?
No, I haven't.
No, I thought you said when you did...
No, I just...
Mount Marcy, Phelps, and then wasn't there a third?
No, I was going to do Skylight or Gray, but...
but you pussied out.
I did.
No, actually, you said it was like the longest...
19.6 miles.
Damn.
In
all in one day?
8 hours.
Yow.
It was wicked, dude. I said it for 3 days. I'm never going back up there. It's freaking pathetic, but Marcy is something else. We even went in the clouds. I
could be convinced. Yeah, and then also that's the other thing you told me is you had nice view right before the peak. When you actually got to the peak, 360 view was totally clouds and fogged in.
Got up there and freaking clouds came in and 50-mile-an-hour winds, but I loved it. We've been here, but I forgot to say why you're here, but Travis is here to talk about some awesome hiking stories. Travis and I have completed 3,500 together. Yep. We very rarely did anything not together.
Actually, Stosh was on all but I think 2 or 3 hikes that I did by myself or with somebody different.
Westkill?
No, I did Westkill with you. I think I did Balsam, the non-winter time by myself, and then I did Hackett,
whatever.
Hackensack. I did that one also by myself as well.
Yeah.
And Wyndham. I did also Wyndham.
Oh, so there you go. Excellent.
Yep.
So we've
all
been...
3 of those are fairly straightforward, easy. Stosh actually also taught me everything I know of planning a hike, looking into what you're actually in for before you actually go out there in the woods and risk your life in these serious Catskill peaks. He did teach me all the good websites to go to, how to look at a map and the bushwhacks, how to know what the terrain is ahead of time. So,
wow. Thank you for the compliments.
Everything. And actually, same thing, Stosh was the one that got me hooked on hiking. Actually, first time I remember going on a hike in my adult life was Stosh had been on a few. He was addicted, and he told me he was doing this little peak called Black Dome. I believe Black Dome was our first one.
Yeah.
And he said it was going to be hot, so I wore a pair of jean shorts, I believe, or
no, it was khaki shorts. It was cargos.
And I had a nice cotton T-shirt on. Was ready to go.
I think we both did that, so you don't have to sound embarrassed.
No, I'm just saying,
I was
it's
in
funny to
cargo
look
shorts.
back now. I didn't even go golfing without wearing a wicking T-shirt and
right.
My Columbia short / pants that zip off into shorts.
So Travis is here to talk about some hiking tonight. So some hiking stories we've been on. We've been on some great hikes and some crazy hikes, and we're just here to talk about that stuff. So I don't have any Catskill Mountain history. I didn't prepare for that because this was like an instant thing that I was just like, hey, Travis, let's freaking talk. Let's have some good memories and let's drink a little
or a lot.
Yeah, I can tell Jessica when to come here. I'd be like, get out of here. So yeah, welcome, Travis, to Inside the Line of the Catskills. This is episode 43.
43. I made the top 50, so it only took 43 episodes to get on.
Hey, you're a busy man.
There's going to be a lot of jealous people that we work with that are going to be like, God damn, I haven't been on there yet.
Who else has come on with us? Nobody else hikes in our store.
Nobody else hikes, but people certainly listen to the podcast, is what I mean.
2.
I think at least 3. There's 3 out there.
There's 3.
Nice.
Erin's cool. Erin's awesome.
Yep, that specifically is who I was talking about.
Erin
will definitely be jealous. I got on the podcast before she did. She's going to probably have to go hiking once or twice, though.
She will. And then I'd love to hear her on here because she's very versatile.
And she's hysterical also.
Yes. But yeah, so this is also, I'm getting close to my 1-year anniversary of doing this.
Very nice.
Yeah, which is crazy. And I listened back and how crappy it was and how pathetic it was and how uneasy I was. And now it's having, I'm having a lot of fun and I got a lot of good people lined up. Like next week, I have 2 friends from New Jersey Search and Rescue that are starting a backpacking hiking school. And they are well-talented MFers.
So the SAR team that you're on is New Jersey. So where are they from? Where's the...
No, I'm on Catskill Mountain.
Oh, right.
They're on New Jersey, though. And he's also, one of them is also on the Mountain Rescue Unit, which is like the northeast of Mountain Rescue. So he does stuff like ropes, rappelling, like safety, serious stuff. Like he taught me, and I was just like, yeah, that knot is not going to be stuck in my head. I know how to do like the shoe knot, and that's about it.
Tie your shoes, you mean?
I shouldn't be saying this because hopefully there's no rangers listening because...
I mean, if they need to rescue somebody, though, they got to call on everybody. Like, they're not going to be like, this guy can't tie knots, leave him at home.
Yeah, exactly. So
he can't tie a midshipman's hitch. Let's get him the fuck out of here.
See, I don't even know what the hell that is.
No, I don't know. I only memorized the name of that knot. I don't actually know how to tie. I just always like to
know a
throw
bowline.
If somebody talks about knots, that's my one joke that I could throw out there.
Bowline, figure eight on a bite.
A midshipman's hitch.
And he knows that.
Yeah.
Midshipman's hitch.
Shipman. So I think it's something from the Navy, would be my guess.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Neither do I. Right. But yeah, I got an author lined up too of books about hikes in the Catskills, so that'll be neat. She's done like 15 books. Weird ones. Like
those are rookie numbers.
I know, right?
Only 15 books. So somebody that actually hikes too is...
She hikes a little bit.
Are...
She did like weird books, Death in Zion, Death in Glacier Park, Death in this, and then she also does hiking books like Hike the Northeast, Hike the Hudson Valley. So she's familiar with it.
Speaking of books, like that was another thing that you also definitely got me into was I always borrow any book that Stosh recommends. I borrow it after he's done.
Do you still have one of my books?
I don't believe I do.
Okay. I thought you did.
If I did, I would still say that I don't, so that you couldn't hold that over my head. But
her name, Randy Mintor. Sorry, Randy Mintor. That's her name. But yeah, author Randy Mintor. She does books around here and around everywhere. It's really, really weird ones. I'm going to order Death in Zion because I just went to Zion. So
yeah.
But yeah, so welcome, Travis.
Thank you.
So guest of the night, Travis H. or Hartwell, Travis Hartwell, whatever he wants me to say.
Yeah. Let's go.
And our hiking stories. So Travis and I will do a little background. Travis works with me. He's worked at Walmart for how long?
In November will be 20 years.
Same.
Kind of exciting, kind of sad, a little bit of both.
Agreed.
Keeps paying my bills though, and it's this nice house and keeps my dogs in luxury.
Freaking nice house with central air that I'm enjoying so much because it's 88 degrees outside.
Central air in the summer and nice fireplace in the summer and the winter.
We've been here many times and had fun many times.
Yes.
So yeah, I met Travis at work. The funny thing is we started talking about Jamaica, remember?
Yeah.
Because I was going on my honeymoon and Travis has been there.
Had gone on your honeymoon or just come back from?
No, we were getting ready to, and I was asking you for
this. We had been there as well. Yeah, that was a great time. My wife's mother took us, and that was a great time. We went with mother and father-in-law, and Tracy, my wife's sister. And that was probably the best second or third best trip we've had ever out of the country, especially.
Yeah. And you've gone recently to different places, right?
A couple different times. We went to Mexico. It was also...
Damn, I gotta go there.
Best trips ever. Yeah. It's nice to just travel also, though. And that's part of the hiking thing is like, it feels like you're taking a little vacation.
Getting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Travis and I talking about Jamaica. And then all of a sudden I was just like, I need a hiking buddy. Do you want to hike with me? And Travis was just like, sure.
Yeah, sure, I can do this. And then realized exactly. I think I was 260 then. I was about 260.
No way.
Sweated my ass off. It was 98 degrees that day. I still remember it. Didn't stop me from making lewd gestures in the photos Stash took that day. However, I think the best thing of it was like the mental push to get through that. Like, I'm dying. I think I'm going to die out here. This poor guy who I barely know is going to have to carry me. And then also, once you get to that viewpoint,
Black Dome.
That speaks for itself.
So let's back it up. Our first hike was Black Dome Mountain, and we Travis is so nice. He's opening up another one for me. What a nice guy. So I offered Travis to go on a 3,500 club hike, and he talks about the 3,500, or he knows about the 3,500. So we were like, let's do it and stuff. And I needed a companion. I was doing them all solo. I did like 5 or 6 by myself solo.
I think that was when Jessica was also still a little nervous about you hiking solo.
She's always nervous about that.
She still is, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, Travis, come along. He's like, hell yeah. So we start talking. I'm just like, so this is what was it? Like 5-6 miles. And it's got like, I'm pretty sure around like 1,400, 1,200, 1,400 feet of gain. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. That's cool.
Sure, no problem.
No problem. So he brings, I have, of course, everything because I've researched this, bladder, food, stuff like that. I think you had like 6 water bottles.
And I think 5 or 6 granola bars also. Yep.
Yep.
I had a Nalgene bottle that I brought with me.
So there's good number one.
That by the time we even started hiking was piss warm. And then also, I think I've crammed like 3 or 4 more water bottles into my backpack. That was like a backpack that I had from high school.
Was that JanSport?
Yeah, no, it wasn't the JanSport with the canvas on the bottom. Those were the best. I wish it was. That would have been so much cooler.
It still would have lasted. No. They're still lasting. That's going to come back. You know it's going to come back.
It could. It definitely could.
It's going to come back.
Things are coming back these days.
But, it was a great hike. Once again, in the agenda, I'm talking about their first hike. Well, let's also talk about what we were wearing. I started hiking in khakis and cotton t-shirts, and that was it wasn't a winter hike, but Balsam was sort of winter. It was April. So, yeah, and this was 2015?
Yeah, probably right about there. And, so when did you get married? Because it was right after that.
No way. 2012 is when I got married.
Okay. All right.
And we went to Jamaica in 2000. So maybe you're right. I did go to Jamaica and then we talking about it. Okay.
Maybe 2014, 13, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, the hiking, I was going to be hot, so I put on my best cargo shorts and
cotton underwear.
A white t-shirt. I thought, this is a white t-shirt. It'll keep me cool. It'll reflect the sun.
Shit.
I'll be good.
Oh, man.
Still had the shaved head then, so I was good. And I think I just had the goatee then. There was no...
Yes.
Yeah.
There's your goatee.
No hiking poles.
No, you did. I gave you mine.
You gave me I didn't have any, but you gave me one, yes. And New Balance sneakers. Yeah.
Oh, man. Those were the days. I can't remember what I wore, but I'm pretty sure it was cargo pants and an Anthrax t-shirt or a metal t-shirt. And like I said, we still survived. We did this. We did this so long too. We did it winter hikes and that.
I was gonna die. I definitely remember thinking, "Oh my god, my heart is beating so fast, I may die." But also, the other fun thing of that hike was, you in your mind thought, "Okay, we could probably double up, hit Blackhead,
Thomas Cole. Yeah,
we can add on another one if this guy can handle it." And in my mind, I was thinking, "How am I going to survive through this one?" With pretty much a stranger, other than knowing you from work. I mean, this was the first time we ever hung out outside of work. How am I going to survive and make it through this. And when we got to the top of it, or even maybe to the junction on the end, you asked me, hey, you got another one in you? And I definitely did not.
That was good.
I definitely did not.
Yeah, I remember that, and I wasn't disappointed. I was like, whatever, man. We'll do it again.
I feel good about myself. Oh, no, it's okay. Don't worry. Just everybody does their own pace. Everybody can,
And that was before Hike Your Own Hike.
And also, that was well before Hike Your Own Hike. And also, anybody who has hiked with Stosh will know he definitely has his own pace that most people cannot keep up with.
If you don't lead. So if you're going to hike with me, you got to lead the hike.
If he asks you, do you want to go ahead and lead, take that opportunity to catch your breath.
It's a good point. But yeah, we had beautiful views that day. It was a little muggy.
It was pretty, I feel like it was.
But we had beautiful views at the top.
Yeah, and that's what got me is we went, I think, the next week after that also. I mean, if not that, it was shortly after that we went and did Blackhead, right? We did Blackhead next.
Did we do that the next week? Hold on. Let me. I got my Wi-Fi locked. So.
I also feel like I remember the disappointment, and so we went back and did one of the others. It wasn't Thomas Cole though. It was definitely one of the others.
Yeah. So we went to Blackhead right after that. And I mean that viewpoint right off of the west side, looking over and seeing that once again it gets you hooked. And Black Dome was okay with the viewpoint. It's like okay, but Blackhead totally blows you away. And I'm going to show you that other viewpoint down over there that John and I went to.
Yeah, and also coming down.
We went down to
the Lockwood Gap there. You see, you see Black Dome, and also that giant wide open view. Of the
That's when we went to what is it called? Camp Steel.
Yeah.
That was my first time to Camp Steel.
Yep. That was some Leave No Trace people. Definitely carved their names into
60s bastards. Right?
Yeah. Camp Steel, and it's 1968 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing over there. I love it. Did you hike ever before that? Was that your first hike? Because you lived up in the Adirondacks, right?
I lived in Saratoga Springs, just up north of there in Corinth. The Gateway to the Adirondacks is the name, the little moniker that the town has. But I did actually do one hike up there. Mount Hadley Fire Tower was nice, pretty awesome view. It was an old retired fire tower that you can see the 360 view of like Seneca Lake, I think it is, that you can see from there, and then.
Seneca's over in the Finger Lakes.
Not possible. I've never been wrong on any fact ever.
That's okay.
But the view from there you can see right up to the Adirondacks. It's pretty amazing.
So you went hiking previously, so
that was my only real adult life hike. Other than that, I grew up in Mount Vision, so I was in the woods a lot as a kid.
Yeah,
not too many friends that live close by, so it was
like
my parents
200-foot mountains.
My parents were like, "Go outside and entertain yourself," though. So the outdoors definitely for me is a comfort zone.
Yeah, I would agree. So let's talk about our times on the Devil's Path. We went. I believe it was our first attempt was Indian Head.
Yep.
And when we were coming down the east sid, I was mocking the Devil's Path.
The devil made you pay.
Yeah.
Threw you a curveball at least.
Freaking! So we were coming down. Didn't Indian Head. I took the greatest picture of you. Remember that? With you standing there on top of one of the peaks, and it looks
in the edge of the brush.
Yeah.
I actually still have that. Till just recently, when we came back from Mexico, I changed my background on my phone. But that was almost 10 years ago, and I had that on my phone as the lock screen background.
Yeah.
For solid 9 of those 10 years.
Yeah.
That was an amazing shot. I'm most proud of that. I was the guy standing there in the photo.
Yeah.
I think you've actually used that for some other stuff too.
Oh, I've used it for everything.
Yeah.
A lot of things. We go up Indian Head, we come down the east side. Cool thing is was that the time we met that guy that scared the shit out of us?
Yeah, we were sitting at Sherman's Lookout, is it? Sherman's Ledge? Sherman's Lookout, whatever that's called there.
Sherman's
and
Lookout.
We were sitting having lunch, and we heard some, what we thought was a bear, and it was some guy just clearing his throat, snotting, and like... and we, like I said, we immediately thought, oh God, there's a bear coming up on us, and we're stuck on this ledge. And then we were happy to see it was just some guy.
He was a through hiker.
Massachusetts, was he? Or New Hampshire? No, he's from New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, yeah.
Yes.
He was a thru hiker for the Devil's Path, and we gave him a ride home.
He was a thru hiker that was very glad to be at the end and very glad to see us because we gave him a ride back to his car. Yeah, down on 214. Yeah. He was parked. He would have had a nice 6 mile walk.
No, he said it was like 12, I think.
Yeah, he definitely had a walk ahead of him that he was not looking forward to, and he hitched a ride with us. So
yeah, and on the way down, I used to carry on my shoulder not a GoPro, but it was some sort of it was called an Ion Pro, and it was similar to a GoPro, and I used to just record everything because I wanted to do like just weird things, and I got some really good footage out of it. We got that. I'll have to post that. What's it called? The swearing stuff.
yeah, we were in the midst of swearing and laughing, and Stosh threw a comment of something along the lines of, "This is the most dangerous or most treacherous part of the Devil's Path." It was a little wet, I think.
Flattest part of the path.
And a rocky surface, and that was the time within 3 seconds, he wiped out.
Look back, and Travis is laughing.
Just as he was mocking the Devil's Path.
So it's real. It's real. The Devil's there. Yeah. He went down to Indian Head, and he had a soul to steal.
Yeah, right on. Don't mess with the devil. With the horns.
Yeah. But that was a good one. And then we did Sugarloaf. I don't know. It wasn't a winter. It was a spring hike, I think. Maybe end of winter hike. And we were coming down. Well, we came down the steep section. We recently went up that horrible part, but it gets a good view of Plateau. And once again, I mocked the Devil's Path. I said something along the lines of, I think it was like, "Oh, this is Devil's Path 666, the number of the beast." Fell down.
Right on cue. Wiped out. Yeah. And then there was the third time Devil's Path actually got me. A friend of mine, Tom Hunter, and I planned a nice... we were going to do the whole Devil's Path. We planned out 3 days to do it. The weather, again, was like 98 degrees. The heat index was ridiculous. My wife cautioned me. It was not a good idea. Stosh actually did not end up going with us. For the full trip, he did make the first part of it, though. We started on Indian Head. We did east to west. We were coming probably about an hour into the hike, just about to start ascending, and Stosh he knew we would be there, so he had already gone the opposite direction of the loop for Indian Head and was coming down, and I somehow found the only patch of mud on a giant boulder that we had to cross, and wiped out about an hour into a 3-day hike. Scraped the crap out of my knee, totally covered in mud.
And you guys like
20 or 30 minutes later, we saw Stosh, and he laughed his ass off.
And I still asked if he was okay.
After he saw that I was douched in mud, though,
You guys like hammock up at different places, correct?
Yeah, we actually hammock camped. Was pretty nice experience.
Somewhat with the heat.
Don't ask us where we did, because it might have been a little closer to the trail than you're supposed to be.
Hey.
However, we didn't get caught, and we did actually enjoy laying in a hammock rather than laying on the ground. So the first day of that, we hammock camped between between Twin and Sugarloaf, I believe.
Did you Plateau and Sugarloaf? Right down.
We did Indian Head and Twin the first day.
Okay.
Camped in the coal between there, and then Sugarloaf, Plateau the second day, and the third day we camped out at the lean-to, not the Devil's Acre one on Hunter, the other one that has no view, not the John Robb lean-to.
So you Devil's Acre.
Devil's Acre lean-to, yeah.
The one with this all swampy and nettles.
A lot of swamp around there. We definitely had to pump and filter water on that one, and then Tom we actually drank about 6 liters of water each for the whole day. Didn't stop to go to the bathroom one time because it was so hot, and got to the lean-to, and Tom said, "Hold on a minute, I'll be right back," and went and threw up because he was so hot and dehydrated. And I imagine that was probably the beginning stages of heat exhaustion.
What is it called?
Heat stroke.
It's not hyperthermia, hypothermia?
Yeah, it was...
Hypothermia, because that's the opposite of... awesome. Wow. I can't say awesome. That was a stupid thing to say.
It was pretty stupid. It was a great experience, but just like every hike, it's always an adventure.
I'm sorry to say, you guys didn't finish, right?
We did not finish
that's
with
okay.
Westkill. We decided we needed to just head to the car. We did the same thing as that guy, the thru hiker. We found out we were walking down Spruceton Valley. What is that road there? Spruceton Road?
Yeah, Spruceton Road.
We were walking down there, and a lady was out front and offered to give us a ride. Probably the dumbest decision she's ever made in her life is offering us two strangers hiking through the woods a ride. But we were grateful. She gave us a nice 3-mile ride to our car.
You guys parked all the ways down at the end of Spruceton Road at Westkill Junction.
At the Westkill
St. Anne's Peak.
End of the Devil's Path. Yeah.
And
then we went back for the Westkill Mountain after that because Tom was pretty upset that we let it go, but it was a good decision, definitely.
Oh, yeah?
We were beat after that one for sure.
Well, I mean, the high temperatures and then him almost experiencing heat exhaustion, like you said, is really good to bail out. A lot of people don't want to, but there's times when you got to think and see like shit, this is not going to work. You know, I always, like when I did Phelps and Marcy, you know, I was on my way back down. I was just like, why the hell am I doing this? What the hell's wrong with me? Because my knees are dead, man. I'm 40 years old.
Listen to your body and listen to the science. Like some of those books that you've lent me, those stories where shit goes bad is because people didn't pay attention to those signs. And
it's called Summit Fever.
Honestly, like it's a real thing too. Like you want to just go for it. You want to push. You want to make it.
Summit Fever, man. Everybody wants to finish that list. So another hike we did was with the great legendary James Hobson, going up the Cornell Slide. That was I don't know. Were we 3,500 club members at that time? I don't think we were.
No, I don't think we had made it at that point.
We just wanted to hike. And James, if you've heard of stories on here or on Facebook, James
if you also are not friends with James on Facebook, you're missing out. He's amazing. Just the way he writes about the hikes that he does, it's legendary. It really is amazing. He also is the most modest guy. He hates to hear those things, but he really does. He writes a great story. He goes to no end to get the photos he gets.
Yeah.
When we did this slide on Cornell, Stash had scouted it from GPS. Like you had seen it originally.
I think, did we see it from Friday?
Google Earth? Or I thought you had seen it.
Oh yeah, Google Earth. Yeah.
Google Earth, that there was a giant scar on the side of the mountain, and then did a little research. James had also seen it or heard about it or something.
Yep.
We hiked up, starting in the Moonhaw.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
Greatest place on earth.
I felt like a champ that day just because I kept up with these two. And honestly, like I said, so we got about halfway up. There's an old slide there. There was another slide that we hiked up through, right? The Friday slide. And James said, hold on, guys, I'll be back in a minute. We were taking a breath, like we were trying to catch our breath, and he just kind of trailed off into the woods a little further up, climbed a tree, I think, and took some photos.
Oh, yeah, he did.
He was telling us about the hemlocks the whole entire way. It was like, he's an incredibly knowledgeable guy. He knows trees. He knows all sorts of stuff about history. Yeah. Like I said, the things he writes, he knows his stuff, and it's really cool to experience that.
And he's a positive influence on hiking. Like I've been on a lot of hikes with James, and like this one was cool because of course it was the beginning, or the first of many, and we were going to see something like we've never seen before, like a slide.
Actually very, very few people had seen.
Correct.
A couple people said they had been there before.
Of course,
everybody
Ralph
wants to be the first to say.
Yeah, Ralph has been there. Ralph probably caused the slide.
Right?
He probably,
or he was there when it happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the Ralph Hall. But we went up there, and luckily he let me navigate, which was really cool. I was just like, okay. And smack dab right on it, this big, huge cliff. It's got to be the size of a big diesel truck. Fell down the mountain 200 feet and ripped everything in its path. And it was the coolest thing that I've ever seen. I mean, not ever as of now, but until then, it was
pretty
wicked.
Amazing. It was just standing next to that giant boulder, and then also knowing from seeing it and also knowing how much damage it caused just rolling down the side of a hill.
And it looked like, the funny thing is, it looked like it didn't tumble. It looked like it just slid. Yeah. And the force of ripping everything apart. And James was ecstatic when he saw it. He's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It was kind of funny to see like a nice calm even keel guy like him get so excited.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny.
It was wicked. And then we went up to the top of where it fell off, and you can easily see where it fell off. It ripped it. Seriously, it must have been, the thawing and de-thawing of ice ripping it apart.
That's the other thing that's crazy is like, how did something knock that down the side of the mountain? Yeah. And also, like he said, so we climb up underneath this giant boulder, and like the climb was not easy at all, and it was definitely a scramble.
Freaking horrible.
Underneath this giant thing, hoping that it doesn't move. Obviously, it wasn't gonna, but you're under it, and you're thinking, God, I hope this doesn't start rolling again.
Yeah.
And it was pretty crazy just to get around it, and then also once we were above it, it was a nice relief.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank God we made it up here. You take a break, take some photos,
and then
a couple of selfies,
and then we freaking figure out an exit route. And I'm just like, well, I think the easiest would be to go over to the dink and then climb down. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay. So we start climbing southwest, and we hit spots of where we're just like scaling 2-foot things at our feet, and we're just like, this is not right. This is not good.
Definitely side hilling on a pretty steep angle.
Yeah.
And also the trees were just so thick.
Yeah.
Slapping in the face the entire way, swing backs.
That's great.
Yeah.
Such a good time. And when
a lot of traps to get your knee stuck in.
Yeah.
Nice, right down to the ankle.
Yeah.
Or femur breakers. That's what James.
Is that what he said?
Femur breakers. Yeah.
Femur breakers.
Yeah.
And when we come down the dink, and all of a sudden we hit this rock, this massive, it must have been a previous ledge that is seriously the size of like an expensive yacht. And I'm just like, holy shit, look at that. We come down, and James is like crazy. He's like, it's a glacial erratic.
This is my first experience ever hearing the term glacial erratic. Since then, I've become very aware of what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, he was ecstatic, and it was seriously, I have a picture of it and Travis next to it, and it's nothing. It's seriously, Travis looks like a little tiny miniature dog or something like that on there, and it's absolutely insane. And we take pictures, and then on our way back, we're talking, and I'm starting to get cramps, and I remember this all the time. Oh, you got to drink your water. You're not going to get...
James, a bit older than us.
Being a dad.
Telling us the fatherly advice. You got to get more water. You got to stay hydrated.
You got to stay hydrated, and I'm just like, I'm freaking doing crap. I drank water all the time.
It wasn't helping at all. It didn't feel like it was anyway.
And it wasn't that long. It was like 5 miles long.
Yeah, it was much too late also to drink water at that point. We had done that crazy hike. So steep up, so steep back down. We were coming down St. Anne's Peak, I believe. Sorry.
Friday. The dink, yeah.
Coming down through the Moonha.
Kind of like the debris field, yeah.
And yeah.
It was...
He was definitely giving us advice we did not want to hear.
We didn't want to hear shit of that.
Like, that water is not helping us, James.
Get us down from this hike. That's all.
Yeah.
But after that, I hiked with him several times. I don't know. Have you hiked with him since then or no?
I think that was the only time I've hiked with him. Like I said, though, I read his stuff all the time on Facebook. If I'm scrolling through my feed and I see something from him, I always stop to look because his stories are amazing. He also always finds
the weirdest crap.
The weirdest, but also the coolest history shit everywhere.
I hiked
graveyards, old barns, all sorts of bridges.
We when we did Slide Mountain from Woodland Valley, and he found off to the side, he just spots something. He's like, "Hold on, guys." He goes over there, and it's an old stove, and this is like 2-3 miles into the hike. And I'm just like, how the hell did you spot that? It's rusted. It's brown. He's just like, and he looks on it and it says like 1889. And we're just like, you got to be kidding me. And he is just Catskill legend. I'm glad I've got him on here. I got to.
Yeah. What's his nickname? The Hound?
Ledgehound.
Ledgehound. Yeah.
Ledgehound.
Right,
and
which he has earned. He definitely is a Ledgehound.
Yep. He loves to find the viewpoints. And, I have taken a lot of advice from him, and I love finding the viewpoint. Travis knows on our freaking bushwhacks that we've gone on. So yeah, that's one of them. Let's talk about the good old Twin Mountain jump.
Mountain
that you did when we went up or in the winter.
Yeah, we had done Twin Mountain before that. You
actually went from the other side, correct?
The first time we did that, we went up, and you had just recently done it. You told me the old snake story, and
family
from the preserve or whatever the the little community is there.
Oh, the Platte Clove community. Yeah.
You saw a family of like little kids and people at the top, so I thought, okay, that's got to be one I could do. And so we went back like a week later. I think it was recently after that, the first time. So this was the second time we did Twin. It was the springtime, I think. Yeah, it was spring because snow. The snow was melting and everything was covered in ice.
Yep.
The sheets of ice on the darker side.
But I don't think we wore... Yeah, we did wear spikes a little bit.
And we were on our way down. I think we did up and back on that.
Well, we went up the west side, the steep side.
Okay.
And that's also when the tree fell. So if you didn't know about the Catskills before, there used to be an iconic tree up on the Twin side. The root.
Hang down, you could climb right up it.
Yeah.
It was a nice handhold.
And all of a sudden, I'm thinking because of the old age, the pressure of the ice, and
more ice, by the way.
Yeah, I'll take an ice. Hold on. All right, so we had to fill up for drinks again, as you can hear. Hell yeah, Ka-chow. Always. So yeah, the root on the west side was an iconic hand area to where you could pull yourself up. And this had recently fallen, so we went up, summited, and then on our way back down, we were just like, so how are we going to get out of this around this area?
I had the great idea. I thought I could make the jump.
You did.
And I did make it.
I posted a video of it before.
I made the jump, surfed a little on the slush and on the snow.
That was good.
Caught my balance, and then we both said that was fucking amazing.
And then I bushwhacked around because I didn't want to do it. But, I mean, that was... like not even a couple weeks before they put in the rungs. I don't know if the people. I don't even know if the listeners know about those metal rungs. I'm gonna have
definitely didn't last long. They weren't as long lived as the root was there forever.
So up that area, it's very flat and it's very it looks like the rock just fell off and it's very slabby. A couple weeks after that fell, apparently the DEC put up metal rungs to go up that spot, and there was a huge outrage on the internet. It was insane.
No Trace people were losing their minds.
Yeah, everybody was like, "This isn't real." I mean, this shouldn't happen.
Yeah, but it's like the steepest incline. In the Devil's the steepest.
I'd have to say in the Catskills, man, that's the scariest.
Definitely the steepest spot, other than bushwhack areas where obviously there's cliffs. North Dome probably has some areas more steep than that, but on the trail, it's the steepest spot, and it's not safe.
Yep. So they installed that, huge outcry on good old Facebook, basically, and somebody cuts them off.
The social justice warriors were out in force.
Yeah, and to cut those things off, they're metal, they're steel, so somebody had to bring a sawzall and cut them off.
Or some sort of power tools, definitely. I mean, I don't think bolt cutters would have done it.
No, not at all.
Hacksaw, maybe.
Those are what?
A hacksaw out there.
3/4 inch rebar. Yeah. So Travis and I wouldn't say we were. Also,
think of what the DEC had to do to get those lodged into the rock.
Yeah, they had to drill and then put those in and then cement them in.
Yeah, dude.
So somebody was super pissed and went up there. So Travis and I were probably one of the last few that experienced that area without the route and without the rungs.
Yeah.
So Travis flew down there. After this, I'll post the video again of Travis because it's awesome. I love it because you're like...
He's going to post it in the comments.
Yeah.
Scroll through the comments.
Freaking just sitting there should I do this? Should I not do it? I'm going to do it. And he does.
Yeah, I definitely had a minute beforehand where I had to ponder exactly where I was going to land, and it worked out.
It did. It did, and I don't even know if we were wearing
spikes.
Things,
so
I don't know about that. That was pretty dumb.
Ask my wife.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's true. Actually. Another one that we did was Panther Mountain Snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool because the night before I told you have to buy spikes, and you're just like, well, what do I do? I
had no idea what spikes. I imagined full on crampon ice spikes, but he's talking about micro spikes. Some hill sounds. Actually, what was the name of the shop in Phoenicia?
Oh, that was Tim Luby's.
It just went out. It had going out of business sale, I believe.
Yeah.
And Tim agreed to leave the spikes somewhere for stash.
Leave them in a bank across the street or something.
We stopped in the morning on the way there, got the spikes, wore the spikes the first time ever. Didn't need them a ton. It was mostly snow, but there were some icy spots. And When we started the hike, it wasn't snowing. It had snowed. There was snow and ice on the ground, but there was mostly clear about halfway up till Giant Ledge.
And Giant Ledge, it started snowing.
It started snowing. It was pretty nice, calm snow. By the time we hit the peak and came back to Giant Ledge, it was full on snowstorm.
Yep. That guy we met, didn't we meet a guy?
That was about where we saw a guy. Yeah, I think he had cross country skis or something. He had skis on. I feel like I remember.
He had something on, but he didn't speak English, right?
He did, but he was just kind of a weirdo. I feel like he didn't.
How's it going, man?
He had no social skills, I think, is what it was, and he didn't want to talk to us. And he was on his way up though, in the middle of that storm. And by the time we got down, it was a solid 10 inches of snow or whatever had fallen.
There was,
I remember your car sliding on the road when we were pulling out.
Oh, yeah. Like when we started going up, you hit that call in between Giant Ledge and Panther, and the winds were whipping.
Yeah.
And it was one of those times of where you're just like, damn, this is very scary, but this is also... I'd have to say that one of my most favorite hikes ever.
Yeah, the silence of the woods when it's snowing like that, but also the sound of the wind.
Yep. And everything falling, and you're just like, I don't know, we're just probably quoting Dave Chappelle and talk about Jerky Boys and work and stuff, but it was magical. Get up to the top of Panther Mountain, one of the greatest viewpoints in the Catskills, and we have nothing. But we are just like, man, this is wicked. We eat very, very quickly. I was just like, man, it's getting really cold. And once again, what were we freaking hiking in? We were hiking in cargo pants.
I think I had jeans. I might have had jeans.
You might have had jeans.
Yeah.
I had the heaviest coat that I could imagine, but everything had like 25 pockets in it. That's why I did it. Freaking snacks. You put your drinks in there and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I had like a New York Knicks starter jacket out from the 90s or something stupid. I don't even remember what it was.
See? And we didn't die. Freaking... Yeah, cotton kills, but not at this time. It didn't kill us. And I remember, though, on the way down, I took a picture of my frozen cargo pants.
And we definitely had the beard frost.
Yes.
The snot sickles and the beard frost. There were some photos of that. And then also, like I said, I remember your car, we had to dig it out a little.
Yeah.
And then it was definitely sliding down that bend on 47 or 42. What is that there?
I think it's 47.
47.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only time that the Panther Mountain parking area has not been overcrowded since.
And completely empty. Completely empty.
The only time.
And that was that our first winter?
That was my first winter, at least. I think you had done Balsam.
I might have.
Oh,
I don't know.
I had done Balsam the first time I did it. Balsam Mountain with you, and that was my first winter. So this was my second, I believe.
Wow. Yeah. And that was...
they all blend together.
Magic day. I can never forget that day, just because of the weather, and you don't always get a view, but everything was blended in together perfectly. And like I said, I was wearing a Black Flag winter hat, heavy ass coat that I still wore that basically looks like you wore it in Russia or something like that. And I'm pretty sure I had cotton gloves. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it was our cotton gloves and cargo pants. I might have had moisture wicking underwear. That was probably the only moisture wicking thing that I had.
The only good decision made that day.
Yeah. Other than that, it was, I mean, like you hear stories from Ralph and Alan Villa and stuff like that of them hiking the Adirondacks in a snowstorm in the 70s with what? Their only thing they had was like wool socks. Everything else was like cotton. And then they had the fleece and what's the other freaking coats that they carry? The flannels. Yeah. And they survived. And they were just like, oh yeah, there was only like, 8 feet of snow, this and that. And I'm just like, man, we're a bunch of pussies.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it goes. Like, everybody's a pussy nowadays.
Yeah. But it was a great, great experience. One of our great times. That one of my best winter hikes ever. I'd have to say it's that is the best one. But speaking of snow and winter hikes, so our hike with John.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
First time I ever met John Buttle, the great John Buttle the Great.
Pastor John.
Pastor John Buttle. He's a great guy, though. That was the first time I met him, and he also got his lesson in microspikes that day, and he definitely I think he had the pencil leads. Was it the pencil leads?
No, it was very. So we had 3/4 inch spikes, and I think he had like half
inch, right?
So,
so we were coming down.
Let's talk about going up. Going up, he put the spikes on, and he had no clue how to put them on.
No clue how to put them on, and then also they didn't help him much.
Yeah.
He definitely slipped and slid.
Quite a bit.
Every 2 steps he took, he slid backwards 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And
we just got it must have been like 2 or 3 inches of snow.
And also that trail is so frequently worn down by people that it was a chute of ice. A big part of it was a chute of ice.
Yep.
And so we waited on John a little. We waited on him a little bit, and then we got to the top. We ate. John, I think he brought a hamburger.
Yeah.
And chicken? Was it chicken?
Yeah, it was like chicken.
Like, he just had leftovers in the fridge. He threw in his bag.
And we were, at the time, I was seriously like, what the hell is this?
John, right there.
But then we were just like, holy crap, that's actually a great idea.
It wasn't a bad idea. I had done that since, where I threw leftovers of just a burger, no bun. Just threw the burger in there, get the protein. And chicken, the same. I've done chicken also. Just some leftover barbecue chicken in the
peanut butter sandwiches.
Yep. So we ate, came back down. On our way back down, John had a little mishap, slipped and fell. He was behind us. Just that small portion of the way, though. It wasn't that. It was pretty far down. We were like 3/4 of the way down. Yeah, we were most of the way, and he slipped and fell and kind of grunted or something, like made a little bit of fuss, very little fuss for how bad it actually was. And we waited on him, and I just kind of exclaimed, "Jesus, what's wrong with you, man?" Like
come on.
What are you doing? Thinking back now, exclaiming, "Jesus, what's wrong with you?" is probably not the greatest choice of words. I don't know if he was a full-on pastor at that point, but he definitely was. He wasn't
a full-on pastor at that
time. Not at that point, but so he got up and kind of dusted himself off. We got back to the car.
Well, he was also laughing the whole time.
He chuckled about it. Yeah, it wasn't terrible. He made very little deal of the fact that he had actually broken.
Oh, I think he fractured his shoulder.
His elbow. I thought it was his elbow.
Oh, his shoulder.
I felt like I remember his elbow. We'll have to go to the source on that.
Yeah.
And see.
I had him.
However, one other thing I remember of that is we got back to the car, and he had a walking stick that somebody had handmade him a walking stick, right?
Yeah. Yep.
His father-in-law or something.
Father-in-law, yep.
Yep. Handmade walking stick with like a carved old wizard in the handle.
It was wicked.
It was a nice walking stick. He left it at the trailhead and never to be seen again.
Nope.
I'm sure whoever found that was like, "This is amazing. I'm taking it home with me."
You shall not pass.
Yeah, right? It was like Gandalf.
It was.
Carved into a walking stick. And John left it at the trailhead because he probably was crying about his elbow that he broke.
Oh, yeah. So on our way home, we're just sitting there. I had John previously, and we talked about this. But he was just sitting there, like, laughing. And we're just like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Like, did he have a good time or something? But, 3 days later, he sent me, he's like, yeah, I fractured my shoulder or my elbow or something.
He worked at the Bassett Hospital.
Yeah.
So he had somebody give him the old x-rays.
Yeah, well, she's just like, what happened to your face?
Yeah, it was all black and blue. And of course,
not here.
People noticed.
He's like, not here, but here.
So much. Right here.
But luckily, they looked at it and they're just like, "Wow, you fractured your shoulder." And we were just like, "Wow, you idiot!" Instead of like sympathize, like having sympathy and be like, "Oh man, that sucks." We were like, "Man, you're an idiot."
Yeah.
We've always been like that to John, though.
That was amazing, though.
That was
he toughed it out.
Remember the freaking the views we had at the top were absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Frosted tips of everything.
The Rhine was heavy.
Yeah, the Rhine. Yeah, that was actually ridiculous, beautiful hike. And John's just like, I will remember that forever in my head because number one, he fractured his shoulder. Number two, because of the views.
I also still say it was his elbow. I feel like I remember it being his elbow. But
I'll have to go back.
Can we get the medical records?
We'll get the medical. I'll send him a message. Let me send him a message right now, actually, and we'll see.
Get this man on the horn.
Yeah, right.
Done a couple other hikes with John since then, though. Great guy.
He's
knows his stuff.
He'll be quiet the hike and then start talking, but he'll be quiet. He hates hiking with us, but he loves it. Another hike, North Dome. Remember our descent down North Dome from the ledge?
I do.
Yeah.
My life flashed before my eyes.
Yeah. So week previously, I asked Travis to go on a hike with me to do North Dome, and he declined, and I went up by myself. And it was horrible because the black flies were absolutely atrocious. I took a picture and there's like black flies everywhere. It was horrible. But I signed into the register. I remember signing in and saying, "Good luck, Travis," because I wasn't going to do it with him. I was just like, "You're going to do it by yourself."
Yep, he swore he would never go back.
But so I went up also from Devil's Path, the St. Anne's Peaks.
In between there, yeah.
And it was insanely steep, and I was just like, I'm never going to go back up there again. But
a week later, he did.
A week later.
Was it a week? It was very shortly.
I think it was a week later.
And it was because we scouted Shaft Road parking area.
Okay.
And we included Sherrill and North Dome, which he still needed Sherrill. So that was how I convinced him, I think. Or that was what lured him into going back to North Dome.
Yeah.
We did Shaft Road parking area, parked the second vehicle on the St. Anne's Devil's Path exit there.
Yep.
And it wasn't bad, actually. I feel like it was a little nettly on the way starting up Sherrill.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Not too bad.
It was a little muddy.
There was a viewpoint that we didn't find.
Oh God, yeah.
You were pretty pissed at me because I couldn't stick with you while you were looking around. I feel like hit the Sherrill Peak, went through the Col, and then went to North Dome. There's a nice overlook if you go a bit past the peak on North Dome.
Yeah, it's actually not. It's far, but it's not that far. But
yeah, a little less than a mile, I think.
Yeah, but this was also
you wanted to add it in.
This was also peak spring season, so we had to wear our head nets.
Bug nets, yeah. That was my first experience with bug nets. I spit a lot on a hike, just frothing at the mouth. I guess I don't know if that's what it is.
Nope.
Tough habit to break when you have a net over your face. A couple different times I spit into the net on accident.
Same.
So we get to the viewpoint there, which overlooks like some sort of campground or private
Timberlake camp.
Yeah, private camp. That's pretty cool to see in the middle of the woods. Like I think there's tennis courts and like
four baseball courts. Yeah,
it's crazy. But the viewpoint there is amazing. Just to see the ledges also. You're kind of sitting on the ledges. We went there and then
oh God, but we didn't spend 5 minutes up there because
it was miserable just because of the bugs.
We ate lunch very, very quickly and we're just like, this is actually like horrible.
Yeah,
and
the black flies were swarming us every second.
Yeah, and it was
mosquitoes on top of that.
Yeah, atrocious. It was horrible.
Yeah. So then,
well, the funny thing is I brought up to Travis. I'm just like, so we have 2 ways. We can descend the easy way or go back up to the peak and descend down the eastern side,
which is a bit of a trail herd path,
yeah,
that everybody kind of takes up there.
Yep,
or
everybody
we can
does.
just go down these steep cliffs. I opted for the easy way, the short
way
cliffs. Wasn't terrible, but
it wasn't bad. We did well.
There was one point we were coming down literally like steep rock face cliffs.
Yeah.
I took a misstep, reached for a tree that didn't hold me, or I reached for a tree that I missed, I think maybe. Fell about 3 feet to another flat ledge where I landed on my backpack.
It's more than 3 feet. It was like 8 feet.
Yeah, I landed either way, flat on my back, on my backpack.
Up against a tree.
And remember thinking, thank God I didn't just fall down another 150 feet down.
Yeah, I was ahead of you pretty much.
Saw my life flash before my eyes. Definitely one of those moments where I was like, thank God this happened instead of something way worse.
Yeah, and the cool thing is like Travis and I and John and I, we always... like when somebody like mishaps or something like that, we're like, you freaking idiot. But then we're like, oh, you okay?
Oh God, that could have actually been bad. Yeah. Maybe I should check on this person after the initial response of, what a fool.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Yeah.
But like that was my initial response. We're like, you freaking idiot. And I'm like, oh shit, are you okay?
Like he said though, he was a bit ahead of me, so he didn't see the full extent of what happened. And then when I explained to him, I almost just died there, man. He was like, oh God.
So I think, didn't you tumble and then like your back hit the tree and it like propped you and you were like, oh.
Yeah. Like I said, it was on a rock that was a nice sized boulder, probably the size of this table, probably 6 feet across. And a tree wedged me kind of in between that and the steep rock face.
Yeah, if you come down from that area, it is absolutely any area from North Dome is one of the steepest areas in the Catskills, but it's an awesome descent.
Yeah. So we made it the rest of the way. We got down to the river basin there, or whatever that
the bog,
the bog is. Marsh. Yeah, where it definitely floods in the springtime, and we're making our way through to try and get to the St. Anne's Peak trail there, to the trailhead, and the bog is just full of overturned rocks and moss. And I remember thinking, what the heck is big enough that's turning these over? And then Stosh finally said, I think this is a bear territory that we're in.
Looking for grub.
Definitely. We saw some scat, and like I said, there was some giant boulders that were overturned where a bear was looking for some stuff. At
least the size of your chest or something like that. It was
one of those times where we're like, let's just keep moving as fast as we can.
Yep. We had to go east around the bog and then head north to the junction, and it felt like so long. It's not long at all, but
it felt like forever just because of the steepness. And we did 2 peaks that day,
and then just seeing the bear, like, this is fresh rocks overturned, and we were just like, oh man. But I mean, all the time we're just like, these bears won't do anything to us. Of course, I've seen at least 1 or 2. How old is he?
Peter is just over 3, and then Jack is 7. He's the old man.
So they're not bad. But yeah,
he's a little rambunctious. He likes to grab.
But yeah, that was a fantastic hike.
Yeah, so the bears that time, I think you've seen bears a few different times.
Like twice, yeah.
And then the coyotes also.
Oh, yeah. So
next best wildlife encounter that we had.
Yeah, so we decided to do Big Indian and Fur from the Biscuit Brook area. We start going up, and the forecast looked okay.
Wasn't bad, because we were kind of pussies about anytime it looked like it was going to rain.
Yeah,
we would not hike. Don't know why. Didn't want to get wet, I guess, but
didn't want to deal with it.
That one we knew was going to be a little bit, so I bought a poncho.
Same.
Stash already had several ponchos. Hiking. Jessica will tell you he buys way too much stuff hiking gear. He had several.
Search and rescue volunteer. All right.
I don't think you were doing it at that point. Anyway,
come on.
We knew it was going to possibly sprinkle a little bit, so I bought a poncho within like half hour into the hike. Wasn't it?
No. It was. So it was actually very far into the hike. So we got up a quarter of the way into the hike up Fur, and this is the time of when there was no herd paths. We bushwhacked completely almost up to the top, and about a quarter of the way in, right off to the side is a creek, and there's a steep embankment, and Travis and I start hearing some howls. Well, hear one howl, and I look at him, I'm like, that's a coyote, and all of a sudden we start hearing
the yips.
3. Yep.
The yips, yelping.
Sure. And I'm just like, dude, we don't even have poles on us right now.
I had like a tiny pocket knife, I think, in my bag that I was clutching.
Yeah, and this was.
I will.
It's got to be
pack of coyotes.
It's like what? Like it's got to be like 500 feet. Like, they were loud, and of course, people say it travels, but this was the creek was right there. And we were just off of the creek. So I'm like, they got to be either on the other side of the creek or close to us. And they were howling, and we were both looking at each other, and we're like, wow, this is really serious shit. And, we couldn't do anything. So we just kept hiking. We hiked up to Big Indian, signed in on our descent to, we signed into Fur, sorry. On our descent into Big Indian, it starts raining. Like, just a little bit.
Nah, it was pouring.
But when we got to the canister, it started pouring.
Yeah.
And we could barely sign in. Like, Travis was seriously signing in underneath his hat and underneath himself. I signed in really quickly. I even forgot what I signed into. And we had lunch, and it was just like one of those brief, like, 1, 2, 3, we're done. And we started descending along the Biscuit Brook. I don't know what that trail is called. Long Path? Phoenicia. God, I'm so weak. This is horrible. I sound like an idiot, but we started.
Loser.
I know, right? We started descending into the Biscuit Brook area, and it's flooded. Like the whole trail is starting to flood. And we're just like looking back at each, like we're looking at each other like, oh, well, we're screwed now.
We were covered in mud up to about our ankles and knees, and then just soaked. My poncho was one of those that covers the backpack also. I think probably an hour into having my poncho on, I caught it on a tree. It shredded a huge hole in it, so it was just gushing water.
Worthless.
Yeah, it was a cheap purchase.
Yeah.
And it was miserable the whole time. That was probably my least favorite hike of all the hikes I've done. Just because there was no viewpoints and also miserable weather the whole entire time. Still fun, though. Still a good time. I mean,
still a good time. We got down to the Brisket Brook lean-to, and there's a Thunderbox down there. Anybody who doesn't know what a Thunderbox is, look it up. It's the coolest thing in the world. I plan on going to that lean-to with Jessica, actually, to do Big Indian for doing an overnight there.
Very cool.
So she doesn't have to experience the 10-mile piece of crap like that. So, but once again, though, the descent was flooding, and the stream crossing, I'm pretty sure everybody's experiencing like low freaking thing. We had to deal with some pretty crappy stream crossing going up Fur.
Yeah.
And then coming back from Big Indian was like crappy because of the water, and it was flowing high. We just didn't care. And then of course, what happens a quarter of the mile from the parking lot? Freaking clears up, and it turns into a beautiful day.
Yeah, and I also remember on that hike thinking the Frost Valley YMCA camp, is it? That's near there? And Big Indian, I think like little kids hike this all the time. I remember thinking,
pussy.
God, I'm a pussy if I can't handle this. Little kids hike this all the time.
Yep.
I can't even handle this.
It's like their 3,500 peak, first 3,500 peak.
It was nice though when we got done with the bushwhack on Big Indian, almost immediately coming off the summit to hit that trail and be on a trail instead of the wet swingbacks hitting me in the face because Josh was ahead of me the entire time. It was just brush hit me in the face with water the entire time.
The good thing of hiking with Travis is on the trails we fly. We both fly and we still talk, and we both fly.
Stash talks a lot. I'll answer him as little as possible to keep my breath. It's kind of an amazing thing of anybody who's hiked with me and then hiked with Stash, we always remark, how does this guy talk so much?
Right?
How does he have breath enough to talk that much during a hike?
It's because
it's good though. It keeps you pushing. Like,
exactly.
It keeps you entertained.
Exactly. That's why I do it. I have ADHD. All right, I've been diagnosed with that. Leave me alone.
It's very clear.
But that was an incredible hike. Do you have any more that you'd like to? I mean, of course, I'm going to ask you some questions in a second, but
there's so many more.
Like a bear pen, or no wait. Let's talk about Blackhead. Remember when we did Blackhead when there was like there was like 3 or 4 feet of snow, and somebody already paved the way for us, and we went up the east side, which was incredibly steep, and we were falling. Well, okay.
I feel like so that was the sheet of ice when I had
there's
photo where I was in jeans, licking the side of the.
Well, no, there was 2 different things. Okay. Times. So there was one time where Travis and I were descending along the east side of Blackhead Mountain, and during one of the steep parts, we met 2 ladies, and they said, "You will not make it to the parking lot from here. This doesn't lead to the parking lot." I'm like,
yes.
I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it leads to the Batavia Kill lean-to, and then it goes around into the parking lot. And they're like, no, you're wrong. I'm like,
and they
no.
pulled out a map even, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like they pulled out a map and tried to show us.
And we're just like, no, we don't need to see this.
Yeah,
we're good. And we descend.
I have Stash Russin with me. Stanley Russin. Maybe you've heard of him.
The Stash Master.
Right. Stash.
And they were very like the older lady was very stern. It's just like, you're not going to make it. But yes, we are.
We know. Like, let's be honest. We will make it there.
Let's be honest.
We will make it there.
And then the second time, or the other time we went up in the winter was did we wear this? No, we didn't wear the snowshoes because somebody did.
Packed it down, yeah.
And Travis at the top of actually at the base was like, the sign was chest height.
Yeah.
And at the top it was, and at the top it was almost to your face. And that was like 3 or 4 feet of snow. It was wicked. and we had a good time. I took a really good picture of Travis. We didn't use our snowshoes because apparently a bunch of people.
We had carried them, though. I remember carrying them and thinking, because there was also another good photo of me standing in the Lockwood Gap. I remember I had my snowshoes on my pack, but we didn't wear them. We wore spikes, was the only thing.
Yeah. It was
a nice hard pack.
And that
nice
east side is insane. East side is insane hike. I can understand why those guys had to be rescued up on that hike. What a bear pen. Remember we went to bear pen? It wasn't a snowstorm, but it was snow. And we carried our snowshoes once again.
It snowed. It carried the snowshoes, didn't use them once. And it snowed at the viewpoint on Bear Pen, so I never got the view there. That's the only time I've hiked Bear Pen, also. I never got the viewpoint on that.
Never ever?
Then it stopped when we went up Fly. We went back down to the junction where the cabin is, up Fly.
Yep. And we could see Bear Pen from live from that one little shoot.
It had stopped, yeah. It stopped by the time we got over to Fly.
So you've never seen a viewpoint on Bear Pen?
Never gotten that viewpoint there.
You got to go back up now.
I guess so. Which is not a terrible hike either, right? It's
no. You can go from Heisinger Road, which is very easy. But I want to go back up to a Bear Pen also to map out the ski slopes, the ski center from the Princeton Ski Bowl.
Another thing that's cool about Bear Pen is how you can, in the summer months, you can drive all the way almost up to that cabin.
Yeah.
But otherwise, in the winter, we parked quite a bit, almost a mile.
Yeah. We parked at the base of that, and then we had to dig ourselves. Remember, we brought the shovels, and we had to dig ourselves because that was a snowplow turnaround, and we had to dig out the area to park.
Yeah.
We had to use shovels. So once again, man, these freaking privileged people these days that get parking areas and stuff like that, and we did. And this was only like 6 years ago. You got to be kidding me.
It's in the last decade.
Crazy. So, Travis, what is your favorite hike of the Catskills?
Plateau Mountain. Easy choice.
Really?
Plateau Mountain. Either side is a nice hike. I enjoy the 214 side just because it's steep, so it's a challenge. The little bit of a loose rock that's there on that one section is a nice scramble. But honestly, doing a loop on that was cool. I've never done the Warnerville Creek coming in from the side.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously I've seen the path going by. Another thing, that photo of me walking on that where it was a little cloudy or a little foggy at the top, I had that as my Facebook profile for probably 5 or 6 years.
Oh, yeah.
My wife guilted me just recently into changing it. But yeah, no, that walk across the top
of the plateau,
through Plateau Mountain, across Plateau Mountain. The hike itself is a challenge. The viewpoints are amazing. Orchard Point, it is, right?
Yep.
The one just before that, also, where you stand on the rock ledge there.
I don't think that's called anything, but
still, the viewpoints are amazing.
Yeah.
Just what you can see first from when you get to the top of Plateau, and then when you go across it, obviously that's hands down.
Yeah.
Plateau.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Both 214 and from Mink Hollow is very challenging. John finished his hike on his 3,500 finish was on Plateau, and that was a good idea because we did the high from
Return to Innocence. Yes.
See, man, I hope these people are 90s kids, and seriously, they know this stuff. But that hike is a memorable hike. The walk along the plateau, is just, I did that recently with Jessica and John, and they didn't do all the way to the viewpoint. Jessica's been there, John's been there, but I sprinted across there and listening to the thrush. And dude, I didn't even, what's crappy? We didn't know about the thrush back in those days. I got to take you up again.
What do you mean by the thrush? The
bird.
Birds.
The bird. I don't think we knew enough about that. The way it sounds. So I gotta take you back up to one of these.
So Plateau, though, I think is also the one that I've done the most. I did it with, like I said, that Devil's Path tour that I did with Tom.
Yep.
And then also, I've done it 3 times, I think, with you.
Wow.
So
you did it with me and John.
Plateau.
Tom. And then me again.
Just me and you. And I think we've done it twice together. We did it once from Mink Hollow the original time, and then also once from 214.
Oh, yeah.
Up that way.
Wow.
And dude, that is by
Orchard
far
Point, yeah.
the best one. Also, it's cool when you do all the other ones and you can see Plateau. Just you're looking at Plateau.
Yeah.
When you see it, you can tell. Hey, there's Plateau.
Yep.
Just because of the shape of it's so long.
Yep. Wicked. Actually, it's a good point.
Yeah.
What about? I mean, you already said your least favorite hike was Big Indian, but do you have any other besides Big Indian? How horrible it was?
Probably just that first one, like when I realized what I was actually in for. Yeah. And honestly, like, it's kind of funny because it was by far the worst feeling, but also it's what got me hooked. Like, all those times that we went hiking after was because of that first one.
Yeah. I gotta admit, got a lot of good memories. Yeah.
Any of the ones where there's not a viewpoint, I'm so about. It's nice to do the challenge of pushing myself, but I do like that viewpoint.
Is that thunder?
It sounds like my bad.
Oh, you gotta fucking.
It could also just be the neighbors.
So John said, what'd you fracture or break on the Slide Mountain? He said, his radius. So I don't know what the hell the radius. That's why I said, what the F is the radius. But yeah, the Black Dome one is very memorable because number one, like, I'm 28:29 and you're 28:30. So you and I finished right at the same time, of course. What did we finish on?
The radius. Right in the elbow.
Oh, it triggered.
Suck it.
Damn. I was wrong.
Suck it, Trump.
All right.
There you go.
Well done. What did we finish on? We finished together, right?
We finished together. We did Lone and Rocky.
Oh, yes. That was
another amazing time.
Yeah, right?
For two peaks that most people say they do not have a viewpoint, they had amazing viewpoints.
Well, if you know where you're talking about.
The viewpoints on those were pretty amazing on both of them. One of them, I think it was Rocky, the second one.
The second one?
Had a ledge that had broken off, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how recent it was, but it wasn't recent. Yes.
Help stuff.
That's
yes.
See, this is
that is thunder, by the way. Also,
that is thunder. If you can, hopefully you can hear that because
silent storm.
We're getting some storms here.
Acoustic thunder.
Yikes! That's a little bit too much.
You gotta get some more ice than that.
I'm gonna have to get down. You gotta slow down there, brother.
No, it's okay. I figured between us, this half of a bottle.
It's always, just to let you know, Travis and I, we always drink very
we did actually
excessively
when we
together.
Finished the 3500.
Oh yeah.
We took a photo op that was a 3 and a 5. Each of us held up a hand. And
yes.
We swigged a bottle of Captain Morgan.
Yes.
That was the finish.
So, also, John joined us, which was his, 11th hike, and it was a bad idea to
if you ask John Buttle what his least favorite hike is,
it was Lone Rocky.
Say that one or the one where you went with Stosh on Slide.
Oh, yeah.
However, the finish to the 3500, it was probably about 11 miles.
So that was 12? I think it was pretty 14.
So we did that hike, bushwhack, for 80% of the way.
And it was at that time it was a good bushwhack.
We did that. John Buttle has never been so quiet in his entire life.
Yeah.
He didn't talk the entire way back off of Lone. Or off of Rocky, rather.
So once again, some of the decisions, of course, was rookie decisions. I didn't even still have moisture wicking pants. It was still cargo pants. Nowadays I would take Lone, Rocky, and then go back to Lone and then back to the thing. But what we did, we were like, we can descent down Rocky and then go into Fisherman Path.
Denning Road, right? Started from Denning Road.
Started from Denning.
Going towards Table, and that little bit of trail before we hit off the Fisherman's Path over to Lone.
Yeah, we started over...
Across the Neversink.
Yep. Well,
over to Lone.
We went over two little streams. I forgot what they're called. And the old timers, the old timers are going to freaking hate me for this. Hopefully they listen to this, but we hit the Lone, and then we go down to the viewpoint. If you don't go down the viewpoint, You're missing out.
There was actually a couple different viewpoints leading to the viewpoint. There was a couple like nice little outlets because again, it was October.
Yeah.
So the leaves were bare mostly.
No, they were prime time.
They were prime on the changing, but there was a lot of spots where you could peek through. And I remember 2 different spots where we stopped beforehand to take some photos.
Yep.
Because it was so nice to look through.
Yeah.
And then got to Lone, hit the viewpoint there, was amazing.
Yeah. Good detour.
We stopped and ate there, and then went over to Rocky. Either way.
I know that
crossing that thin line between Lone and Rocky was sketchy.
It was fun.
But also was pretty fun. And then the thickness of the fir trees there.
I was wearing a pink shirt.
Insane.
I was wearing a pink shirt, and Travis said he couldn't see me, and I was 5 feet ahead of him.
And John, the same thing. He was right behind me, and he couldn't see me. And it was swingbacks were not the term for what we were going through there. Like it was heavy, dense.
Push through and get through the goddamn peak.
A nice razor thin edge that we were hiking across.
Yep.
Is that the Catskill Divide there, or is that over in Big Indian and Fur?
The Big Indian and Fur, I think.
But even still, it was a razor thin. It says there's a herd path in between there, but we did not find it.
We did not find it. Nope.
Went over to Rocky.
Signed in.
Nice little spot on the summit there. Where we sat and it was like a nice little circle. I remember.
Yeah, everybody says the one thing I don't like is people say like don't hang out on a summit. What the hell are you gonna do? Like
that's what you go for.
Exactly. You sign in. What are you gonna do? Leave right away? No. I'm sorry, but we hung out. We had a drink of was it Captain Morgan or Fireball?
Yeah, and it was Captain Morgan, and it was just a small flask of Captain. It was not a 750 milliliter. It was the smaller, the next size down.
Not a 750
flask-shaped bottle is. And I remember Stosh had that in his bag. When he pulled it out, I remember taking a huge slug off of it just because it was the end of the 3500. It was 3 years. It took 3 plus.
It wasn't bad.
It was definitely 3 plus just because we did one hike a week. Some weeks we didn't go.
Yeah, but we still killed it.
Doubled back and did a ton of all those hikes just to get me that same peak. That
is Catskill Divide.
I remember hitting that last peak and thinking, that's awesome. We finally did it. The build up, and honestly, I feel good for Jessica just because she's getting close also. She's 10.
I mean, no,
10
she's
left?
Yeah, she's got
under 10 maybe.
Under 10.
That when you start to get close and you start checking those boxes off of here's another one. Oh, I did another one. The battle of getting your ass up that peak is so cool. Each one of those battles builds up to the end of the war, like it's cool. Yeah. I can imagine what 46ers feel like. I'll probably never finish all 46 in the Adirondacks.
God, there's no way.
I've never done one. I can't imagine 46 of them. But it's so cool to finish what you started.
I gotta admit,
having that drink at the top, I took a nice long swig off of it, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly. And at that time, we're just like, I thought that viewpoint was phenomenal.
And that's the other thing is, everybody says there's no viewpoint there. It was a rock ledge that had broken off, and there was a wide open viewpoint of the Catskills.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
And John was speechless because he couldn't do anything.
Mostly because he was catching his breath.
Yeah. But after that, I was just like, let's descend down into the Neversink, and then we'll follow the stream away because there's the Fisherman's Path. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
If you look at websites, they'll say the Fisherman's Path
misleading.
The Fisherman's Path goes quite a long way along the Neversink. However, it was not a well-worn herd path like many folks say.
Yeah.
It was brush, swingbacks,
back and forth across
crossing Buttle especially.
Crossing the creek. I'm just like, oh well, here's another sidewall. We got to cross the creek again. Let's see if we can rock hop. Oh look, there's another sidewall. We got to cross the creek again. John hated me. Travis hated me. I tried to keep up the conversations.
Yeah, I was quiet also.
Yeah.
I won't pretend like John was the only one that was miserable there.
Yeah.
I was miserable.
It was
At mile 12, we made it to flatland, and then still had 2 miles to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was definitely a great time, but also like a shitty time.
It was a battle for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a battle, but it was. You know what? I really hate to say this, but I haven't done Lone since, and
or Rocky.
I really no. I haven't. I regret it because I don't. To be honest, I don't have the time, and
we did start very early that morning and finished quite late.
We arrived at sunrise, and we were just getting the sun. So it was total distance was 12.69 miles.
All right,
which is not bad, but still going along that never sink, and I can see within the map we were back and forth.
I think that's probably my longest single day of hiking. 12.6.
Oh yeah, look at that freaking elevation gain! Jesus Christ, that 2,400 to 3,500, 1,100 feet in a matter of 1.2 miles. It's pretty, yeah. But once again, like, some people say like getting their college degree or other things like that, getting a job was their greatest accomplishment. 3,500 was my greatest accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it at the top 5 of my accomplishments also. Yeah, definitely. And I'll cheers to that. Like that's pretty amazing.
I gotta admit, never felt better. We did it, and we were just like, holy shit. And then the walk back was horrible.
It was quiet for sure, other than Josh. I think a couple different times we waited for John to catch up. We just kept pushing ahead, and he said, "No, go ahead. You keep going without me."
No.
And then we got out of a line of sight and thought we probably ought to wait for him.
Yeah, exactly. John, definitely. Yeah. I don't know why his 11th hike we freaking took him road and rocky. At least
he wanted to be a part of it. I think us finishing that was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
I think then after that same day, we came back to my house and right here in this kitchen.
We got wasted.
We had a couple drinks of rum also.
Oh yeah. I don't know. We had
a couple
to eat.
cheerses.
Yeah.
I don't either. I think maybe Tracy cooked something. But
yeah, she cooked something. I think it was tacos. So what was your least?
I think you're right. It was tacos.
It was good
quesadillas
shit.
or something. Yeah.
It was some good stuff.
Hell yes.
What was your least favorite hike?
I think the Big Indian and Fur.
Just because it was wet.
The wetness of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I gotta admit, the rain is not fun. That was one thing that I really don't look upon is the rain. Snow, that's fine. Rain is just, it could get below 40 degrees and hypothermia could kick in. And several times we've canceled the hike because of, it'll be 55 degrees, but raining on top of a mountain would be 45 degrees. Hypothermia kicks in.
Yeah.
What about your hardest? What was the hardest hike?
That one that we just talked about definitely was one of the hardest, but for sure the 3-day bender that Tom Hunter and I did, the Devil's Path, was the hardest by far, just because of the heat. And I remember just thinking when we were pushing through the 3rd day to go up Hunter Mountain, you come between Plateau and Hunter Mountain, Stony Clove Notch.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
We hit that campground, we filled our water there, and had depleted almost all of our water by the time we got up Hunter. And it's not Becker Hollow Trail, but it's right nearby.
It's very similar.
And the switchbacks in that spot, I think there's 7 of them. I counted it on the map later, 7 or more. I remember thinking, holy God, how is there more switchbacks?
Shit.
Are we to the end of this godforsaken trail yet? It just felt like it went forever.
Yeah.
On the 3rd day of 98 degrees.
Yeah, I remember meeting you guys, and
it was burning my soul, Stash.
I was seriously just like, oh man, it's gonna suck. This is
idiots.
But you guys did it somewhat. I mean, you did.
That's what's coolest part.
95% of it, which is crazy during those times. I've never done it. I gotta admit, you guys have done more than I have in one day.
That was a 3-day. 3 days. So
still, well, 3 days still. Any recommendations for eating or drinking in the Catskills?
I recommend you make a peanut butter sandwich, no jelly, extra peanut butter.
2-inch thick peanut butter.
If you don't put 2 inches of peanut butter on the bread, you're not doing it right. It's
protein, all right? Right?
No, for me, I always granola bars, always a good deal. The John Buttle method, honestly, of a burger is not a bad deal. I never went with the bun. I always went with just Tracy makes a Atkins burger, just no bun, just
Atkins,
just no carbs,
fancy shit.
Throw the burger in there.
What about after hiking? Like, would you? I mean, we've only been to Oakley's, so
yeah. I hear the Westkill Brewery is a nice place to go.
They have food now.
Yeah, and then other than that, yeah, we only went that one time after hiking. We had enough energy to go one time after we did slide. After we did slide, right?
I'm pretty sure it was. That's what sucks.
We went to that dive bar.
Yeah.
It's definitely a local place. If
you're
not a local, they look at you funny.
Yeah. But you had a beer. Oh, no, you had a goatee at the time.
It was a goatee only.
But yeah, that was Oakley's. I will always recommend Oakley's.
We were the only hikers in that place the entire time.
Yeah, there was other creepy guys.
Drowning their sorrows.
She was trying to tell us stories about her life, and we're just like, yeah, we don't really want to. Can you get us our burgers? Like, really quick. So, excellent. So, Travis, thank you for joining me. Yeah. I really appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure. I've been waiting. I'm actually a little sad that it took 42 some odd episodes until I got on this.
42 episode. How about you go F yourself? All right? You're a manager, all right? Do not tell me about this stuff.
F yourself right in the A.
Yeah, F and A. So thank you for our monthly sponsors. Really appreciate it. Once again, I'm going to get this pre-recorded. Thank you for the donors. Thank everyone who's listening. I appreciate it. Travis, you're one of them. Yeah, Aaron, you're one of them. Subscribe on any platform. Look me up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I have a website. If you have a time, shoot me a review on Spotify or Apple Podcast or whatever platform you use. Travis, anything to say?
Mountain lion.
Mountain lion. We forgot to talk about mountain lions. We saw them.
I love that intro. I love that intro that you always put on there.
I haven't done that in a while.
Oh, that shows how much I listen.
Sarah, yeah, exactly.
What the fuck? Loser.
That hurts.
Sorry.
That hurts a lot. That hurts a lot because I haven't used that intro in a long time.
It was a good one. You should go back to it.
So maybe I should get Walmart to sponsor me.
Or any of the folks that is in reference to.
Which is nobody. Nobody cares. See? Nobody cares.
One specific person.
All right. So thank you for joining me, buddy.
Anytime.
Have a good night.